The rise in access to technology on the African continent has been met with the confidence to innovate. Innovations ranging from a young boy who uses recycled materials to build a scooter to a local tech startup that services over thousands of businesses. This combination of creativity at play and problem solving is exactly what inspires us Africans to innovate. Now, you might argue that innovation is not unique to the African continent. True, but you can't deny that there is something special that makes our homegrown innovations spark. That spark can be found in the concept of Ubuntu. Now, Ubuntu is an inherent element of African culture that highlights the importance of leaving no one behind, which is the golden thread that runs through all our homegrown innovations. They're all geared towards an inclusive future. Now, when you take these concepts of Black culture and fuse them with technological concepts, you get something called Afrotech. And simply put, Afrotech is tech for Africa by Africans. The Afro in Afrotech captures the soul of innovation. It speaks to the passion and the ideas that we have imagined for a better future. And tech is how we make those ideas into tangible solutions that solve everyday problems on the African continent. A good example of Afrotech can be found in Nigeria, the year 2007, where Ezra found himself in a place with limited internet access. Him and the rest of Nigeria were struggling to buy basic digital products such as airtime using their mobile phones. This then inspired Ezra to build a digital wallet to simplify these type of transactions. Now, fast forward to 2017, Ezra Olubi has co-founded Paystack with Shola Akinlade. Paystack was inspired by the need to remedy payment processing inefficiencies in Nigeria, and today it services over 60,000 local businesses by enabling them to receive payments from their customers. This is an inspiring story of inclusive innovation, and that's the pillar that Afrotech stands on. In the last decade, technology has witnessed rapid growth on the African continent. We've seen an increase in internet access and a rise in mobile penetration. This has led to the emergence of digital entrepreneurship, which has cast a spotlight on our local tech industry. And as a result, we've seen a surge in funding in millions of dollars from the West into Kenya, Rwanda, Nigeria, and South Africa. Now, these funding initiatives are often met with the hope that they will catapult our local innovations onto the world stage. But there's also skepticism that funders only care about profit and often neglect human-centric values. Funders should, however, empower local tech makers to remain at the forefront of their innovations so that the soul of tech being made in Africa isn't lost. This isn't bad news at all for our young tech industry. In fact, Africa's late arrival to the digital economy has its own advantages. One is that there's a younger population that's ready to enter the job market. And then the second one is that we've got an opportunity to learn from the mistakes of Silicon Valley. Now, Silicon Valley is the pulse of innovation, but according to The Atlantic, it fails to address pressing issues such as the rising inequality rates in the tech industry. This is a call that local tech companies like Yoko, Paga, and Fauri have answered. Not only do they employ thousands of young Black tech talent from across the continent, but they also enable businesses to grow exponentially. I'm proud of the strides that we've made as African tech makers. I'm even more proud to brand Africa's take on innovation as Afrotech. Now, Afrotech plays two important roles in our tech industry. The first is that it's a support structure and a home for budding tech makers. In South Africa specifically, we see tech communities like Girl Code ZA, Digify Africa, and Geek Culture ZA do the job of nurturing and upskilling young Black tech talent. Secondly, Afrotech casts a spotlight on our local tech industry by nudging the world to look to us for an idea of what inclusive innovation looks like. In the past, emerging markets were excluded from the digital economy due to lack of access to resources. Yet in recent years, we've seen an increase in internet access, an increase in access to software and hardware, which has led to the emergence of homegrown innovations that cater for the unique problems that this continent has. So how do we take all of that and crystallize it? How do we make Afrotech a more robust movement? One idea is to introduce a broader concept of technology into the schooling system. Currently, the subject of technology is regarded as information technology, computer applications technology, and computer science. This is good foundational knowledge, but what happens to the student who wants to become a professional esports gamer? We need curriculums that are flexible enough to evolve with the world so that young people can come into contact with potentially disruptive ideas at a young age. This will then hopefully allow them to create opportunities for themselves and for the tech industry at large. Look, the signs of Africa's digital revolution can no longer be ignored. We are executing ideas that will have revolutionary impact that will nudge the world to look to us for the blueprint of inclusive innovation. Africa is a waking tech giant, and our superpower is our unique flair combined with our knack for problem solving. That's our magic. And as an active tech maker on the continent and a passionate advocate for Afrotech, I invite you to use that magic. Use it to innovate from the heart and to commit to a future where everyone belongs. Thank you.